Hello, how you doing?
Good, mate. Yourself?
I'm hanging in. I'm hanging in there.
What's the time difference over there?
What's that?
What's the time there?
What me hanging in there?
Yeah, what time is it?
Oh, it's about to hit 6 o'clock my time.
Oh, cool.
What
That's
time is
not
it
a
down
bad
there?
time. Yeah, it's about 8 o'clock here, 8 a.m.
9 a.m. Oh, so you on Thursday? I mean Friday.
Friday, yeah.
Oh,
It's weird, isn't it?
yeah, that's weird. I'm talking to tomorrow.
Yeah. You're tomorrow. You're talking in the future.
I am. I'm talking into the future, man. That's pretty cool though. That's pretty cool. All
That's so cool.
right. Yeah. So I'm already recording. We go ahead and get started.
Cool, man.
All right. So I just want you to take me to your journey, man. Just talk to me about, your undercover work and where you are right now.
Yeah, cool. Mate, well, undercover work started back in 2001 for me. Uh, and it was something that I'd never really wanted to do. It was something that I fell into,
Hmm.
and it sort of happened. 12 months earlier than that, I was living with a girl down the Gold Coast, in Surfers Paradise, which is a bit of a famous sort of place in Queensland. And unfortunately, she'd taken her life, and I'd found her in the garage on New Year's Day in 2000. And
Ooh,
obviously, my world changed hugely then. We had
yeah.
she had a 4-year-old boy, which was from a previous marriage, living with us, and he was in my arms when I found her and opened the door, and I threw him out as quick as I could, so he couldn't find her, couldn't see her, and luckily he didn't really see much of her that he could remember. He obviously went back to his natural dad, and I sort of then went on to try and recover from that traumatic event. I was a police officer. I'd been 2 years, 2.5 years into the cops, so I was pretty green. I didn't really see much future after that. Everything, my world turned upside down. It was really a pretty ordinary time in my life where alcohol addiction,
Yeah.
drugs, everything sort of just
Yes.
only way to numb the pain. And it was just a by chance thing where I ran into a bloke that I knew, and he was undercover, and he was with his mates who were under other undercover cops. And to me, I thought, well, what a great world! I can disappear, I can lose myself, I can
Absolutely.
become, I can pump. And what I ended up being was I became really reckless. I became a bit of a loose cannon. I became the book that I just wrote about it was they gave me the name of Donnie Wilson. So Donnie was on a death wish. He didn't really give a shit where he lived or died.
Hmm.
The way that it sort of happened is that I sort of, because of my non-care factor and my no fear, I went into worlds that most people were too scared to go into. But I didn't give a flying rats, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
All it did was actually it it got me to bring down the bigwigs, and I was getting pats on the back, I was getting citations and commendations, and I was throwing them in the bin, going, I don't want them. What do I want them for? You know, I was I was probably looking for a noble end. I was because the pain was so great, so hard, and I just wanted to be with my ex-girlfriend.
Hmm.
I was so reckless and so stupid. I had guns to my head, I had knives to my throat, I had everything. And I think that attitude probably saved my life when I look back at it, because that person saw that there was no fear in my eyes. And
Hmm.
so my story sort of goes on from there, where it took me quite some time to recover. Alcohol, especially drugs, really played a big part of my life for many years. I've now basically beaten that addiction, and the book has really helped me get through it. I've now got a new family with a young son. He's 20 now, and a beautiful wife. And uh, my sort of story is to sort of show that everyone goes through hard times in their life, Uh,
Yeah.
mine, mine just happens to be that one, and some people seem to like hearing about those sort of stories. So I thought I'd write about it, and and what I have noticed is that it's been a really good conversation generator, especially with men.
Sure.
I tried to, I was a rugby league player for many years, and I got plates in my knee, I got plates in my arms, I got broken eye sockets on my eyes, and I try and use it to explain it to men that an injury to your brain is no different to injury to my knee or my arm. It's never going to be the same, but it's not something that should ruin your life or stop your life. You just got to find ways to adapt, by different ways. And I sort of explain it a bit in my book how, you know, my book is also about a lot of
Yeah.
things of what not to do as well. It's
Absolutely.
it's no expert bloody writing, and it's there's a couple of very humorous stories, a couple of
Sure.
sad stories, and basically it's a pretty. I really had I honestly had like a imposter syndrome sort of thingo where I didn't think that anything that I'd been through was that serious. And I
Yes.
said, everything that I'd been through to me was normal. But
Hmm.
since people have heard my story, like they're gobsmacked, and I'm going, but I thought that was just normal. But it's opened a lot of people up to their mental health, and it just amazes me the amount of people that are struggling. And really, it really is something that, regardless of what it is and what has happened to you, it's still serious to you. So it doesn't matter
Correct.
if you compare to yourself to whatever. Oh, I didn't see any of that. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. It doesn't matter. If you're experiencing those feelings and you're struggling, there's a way of getting around it. And I sort of got this thing with blokes now is that I say, how about we talk shoulder to shoulder? Because blokes don't like talking face to face. And I go, it's amazing how
Hmm.
much I get people to talk, whether it's at a park bench or driving or at a bar,
Yes.
whatever. It's amazing. Blokes they seem to speak more than face to face, looking at each other, dreaming into each other's eyes. So I go, come
Yeah.
on, let's go. Shoulder to shoulder.
No doubt. Man, no doubt. But I'll say this, like I go through struggles myself. So it's for me, it's more of like relationship type struggles, like not necessarily not handling rejection or anything, but mine's is like where, and I mentioned this like before in previous recordings and stuff, and my struggles is like how I can find out that, someone's cheated on me, someone has actually, being secretive, just things like that. That really it cringes me inside. And that's where I struggle to kind of to try to not necessarily look over it, but kind of just, find a way to heal that. And it's a struggle for me to accept it. And this is
Mm,
why I do this. I do this podcast. I do this recording. And I do it also for, people like you and other people that's come on to, openly share, you know, their struggles or, what they used to struggle with and everything else that, you know, that they advocate about, what they care about passionately. And for me is just that. And then like, leadership and jobs and stuff like that. And I speak passionately about that too. And that's where like I have to just take things like one day at a time and being able to just look forward to, a whole new day and like, okay, so tomorrow's gonna be a new day. Let's make it a good one. And I tell you,
yeah.
today it was a little bit of a struggle because of um it was just how I was feeling. It wasn't, something that I necessarily think about,
Yeah.
overwhelmed and things like that. So I can understand like how with you, how the one thing that really struck me is how, your old girlfriend was, you know, I think you said committed suicide. And like that really gets me too. And that's a serious, yeah, serious thing to actually not and just think about. Like you are
Yeah. Not
actually
only,
showing a lot of strength in
you
that.
know, I didn't for many years. I didn't for many years, I can tell you that much. But, um,
Yeah.
you know, there's so many different aspects that I've had to navigate,
Hmm.
seeing the trauma, seeing her dead, in a violent sort of way. But
Hmm.
then what it does to you as the years go on is, you know, you talk about breakups and stuff like that. That's the
Yeah.
ultimate breakup, the ultimate rejection that someone would
Yeah.
rather kill themselves than be with you. I struggled with that for many, many years, and I had to convince myself that it wasn't me, it was her. And I had to sort of say,
Hmm.
no, I can't take the blame for this. I cannot. There was nothing I did that took the blame. But like, I'm not that bad to live with. I'm not that, all of those things. And what it did was really expose me to look within and go, her death really exposed a lot of my weaknesses. And it was all about self-doubt. It was all about looking within, having to love yourself again, having to be happy in your own skin, all of those things.
Hmm.
And the amount of times that I walk past the mirror and one day I just started saying to myself, "You're a good looking rooster today, mate. Look at you. Hey, you're a good bloke. You're a good fella." And just started telling myself, "Hey, you are good." I knew I didn't believe it at the time, but I was forcing myself to look at myself, go, "Hey, hey, you got this, man. You got this."
Absolutely. Sometimes you do have to, like me, I have to look in the mirror. I have to look at myself
Yeah.
in the mirror. Rather if I did something wrong or I'm struggling, depressed with anxiety or anything, I'll get up, I'll go to a nearest mirror in my home and I'll just look at myself. And yeah, absolutely. I'll look at myself, man, and it'll be like, hi, you're still here,
Yeah,
man.
be
Keep
positive. Be
moving, man.
positive and say,
Yes, keep moving.
don't look at the bad
Yeah.
parts. Just go, hey man.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Straight up. So that's a serious thing. Like I have to really do that to myself now. And I started doing that not too long ago. And that has made me, feel more positive about where I am right now. So it's one of those
I think my
journeys.
age as well. Like I hit 50 a couple of years ago,
Hmm.
and I think the age. A lot of people have said to me, "Oh, geez, you're a bit vulnerable writing this book," and I said, "I really don't give a shit. I
There you
really do
go.
not care what anyone thinks about me anymore. If it's negative, I really don't care."
I yes. You
And
you have to think like that.
once I've got that, and I truly believe it now, oh man, I'm so happy and I'm so free. I'm so you just
Mm.
don't worry
Yeah.
about things anymore because you start realizing there's that everyone's fucked up and everyone's got their own
Yeah.
dramas and they don't
Hmm.
really like and it sounds awful, but they really
Hmm.
don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah. Because it's like you really like you got people like you said that you know, that wouldn't like you, that don't like you, don't give three damns about you. And
Mm.
you have to be like, okay, you can't let that bother you. You can. You like when you say, hey, I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
that just releases the biggest, like, I call endorphins. Like
Yeah.
letting that out, it's like good. Nobody, I don't give a damn what anybody think about me. I'm just gonna continue to do me rather if you don't want me to do me or not. So that right there is like, I don't give a three poot name shit about what you really think about me. So that,
Bloody hell.
yes, like once you release that, once you come to acceptance that you really don't care what people think about you, you are opening up a whole new set of doors of
It
new
does.
and better and positive things. So it's like,
Yep.
yep, if nobody don't like you about writing your book, who gives a damn? You gonna write the book
Yeah.
anyway. You gonna release it. So what difference do it make? Like, what,
Yeah.
man,
I mean, you know,
man.
if I wrote it 10 years ago, I would have been so worried about people looking at me being weak, being a pussy, being whatever. Who
Yes.
cares? And now it's like, if anyone said something like that now, I've got enough knowledge and confidence in my own skin now where I've gone, that person's got a problem.
Hmm.
He or she is the
Hmm.
one that has an issue. If they don't
Yes.
have the maturity and the the self-worth to see the benefits in what I was writing, they're running from something.
Yes. No doubt.
Mm.
No doubt. And you talk about strength, like when we were talking about strength a little earlier, like for you, what does strength really look like when nobody sees what you're dealing with or what you're going through?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, again, that was something that did worry me in the younger years where
Hmm.
I felt like I wasn't seen or heard because,
Hmm.
you know, I cared what people think about me.
Sure.
How come they can't see that I'm struggling? How come I just went on a 4-day drinking bender and you know, hated the world and I told everyone to get fucked and I was just angry as fuck.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, what's wrong with him? I used to worry about that.
Yeah. For all the
Now I'm
obvious
good.
reasons. Yeah, for all the obvious reasons. It's like you're, you were younger and there was things that you really don't understand. You can understand it, but it's more like, okay, the more I actually sit here and start listening to people, the more that the stress will start coming in, the overwhelming experience start to come in. And you really don't want to put yourself through that. So that's why you really have to just be like, okay, I don't give a shit anymore. So let's just go ahead and just say, fuck it. I don't care no more. I'm done worried about what people think about me. The strength here is within me. The problem is going to
100%.
be within me. So if I have a problem with me, I'm going to have to discuss it with me, but I can't take it out on nobody else. I'm going to have to figure this out for myself. Nobody ain't going
Yeah,
to come and help me or rescue me at the end of the day. So it's like, let's keep it moving. We're going to keep it positive regardless. That's just That's just how it is.
I
So,
think for many years I was looking for someone to fix me, like a psychologist, or I'd walk out of something and I'd say, well, I'm not fixed. That person hasn't fixed me, not realizing that they were just giving me tools for me to fix myself.
mhm. Psychotherapy, more than anything, like you said, you could just go find somebody at the park or on the bench, sit on the bench and just talk to someone. And that's the
Mm.
biggest psychotherapy right there, is just talking to people. That's the
Yeah,
best thing ever. Like, especially if you can relate.
if they're
And
connected, yeah,
yes, if they can connect,
if they're on the
relate.
same. There's
Yes.
some
Yes.
people, if you can start talking to them, and you know that the worst thing that's happened to them is that they didn't get picked in their under 12 soccer team, and
Mhm.
that gave them PTSD. You know that you're talking to the wrong person because they just have not experienced grief. They haven't experienced true hardship.
Yeah.
Um, and as we said before, that's their own. You know,
Yeah.
have their own dramas, and they can deal with that. But by you talking when you've seen so much, so much death and
Hmm.
destruction,
Yes.
um, you just cannot relate to that. I put it as an analogy where it's like a bloke telling a female what childbirth is like. It's impossible for someone to tell you the trauma and the grief that you've experienced that they can understand where you're coming from, not unless they have
Absolutely.
walked almost a similar sort of path as you.
And that's true. That's straight
Mm.
true. So when people say time heals, but what happens when it doesn't?
Yeah, I'm not sure that time heals. It certainly just
Mm-hmm.
gives you enough time to work out tools to process it, to work it out, to
Yeah.
fix what's ever in your head. Um, there's some days that I still think that, you know, the first 2000 was like yesterday. It feels
Yeah.
like it was that. It was some days it's almost like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and it brings you straight back there. But then the day after that, it's 20 years later. So I don't think time heals. I really don't.
How often, like when you're actually out here and you're doing time, how often does your brain go and snaps into your old self, the old Todd, the dark side? What does that
Yeah.
do to you, like when you're actually doing Todd, the new Todd?
Yeah. Because Donnie was my old undercover name and he was pretty reckless,
Yeah,
uh, I I sort of use my PTSD and I call it Donnie. Donnie's he's a bit of a bad man. He's still reckless and Donnie still comes out every now and then. He still nips at my heels and um, sometimes you just got to let Donnie go crazy for a day or two and then he comes back and then Todd's back. um, because Donnie can't be told. And that's just my PTSD. But I find Donnie doesn't turn up as much anymore if you get
mm-hmm.
a good night's sleep, if you get some exercise in, if you connect with the right people.
Mm-hmm.
Donnie sort of only turns up every now and then, but if you're abusing alcohol, drugs, running with the wrong people, Donnie turns up all the time.
That's true because, as they always say, if you hang out with your friends and drink, you're going to be a drinker.
Hmm.
And they'll say, if you hang out with five positive people, you're also going to be the positive person. So it just reflects, like you said, on who you hang out with and who you actually decide on how you're going to be as a person. So yeah, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. And like as I said, with the injuries to my knees and my arm and eye and all that sort of stuff, um, there's ways that I can strengthen that. You strengthen the muscles around the bones of my knee, so my knee still works better. I worked out that I see double out of this eye, so I just make sure that I catch the ball, the lower one, not the top one. So it's all about working that out. And to me, strengthening my brain that had a trauma injury is by exercising, is by getting good sleep
Yeah.
and preparing yourself properly for the next day. Because I find
Mm-hmm.
if I haven't prepared myself great for the next day, I'm in the shit all day. I just feel like shit. Donnie starts bloody turning up again, and you've got to reset yourself again and go, okay, tonight let's sort this out. Let's get a good night, 8, 9 hours sleep,
Yeah.
and go and go for a walk, do some exercise, go for a gym sesh, and it's amazing how much it really does help and fix you.
I agree because I think it was I want to say maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. Or 4 or 5 years ago, I was like super overweight. I think I was at 300 and 23 pounds, I think it was
Mm.
323, 324. That was
Yeah.
yeah, that was in 2021, as a matter of fact. Come think about it.
Yep.
It was 2021. I was at 323. And I knew that when I kept looking at myself in the mirror, I said, yeah, dude, this is not the fucking answer, especially for you. Like I just started back work again, and I was not in the best of shape. And the job I was working at the time required, like, not necessarily required, but it humbled you, so to speak. And um, did that I was out of shape, like bad back, and bad knees, all that.
Yeah. Yeah, you
So
feel like you can't.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and now like today, I'm down to 270, and I
Wow.
knew that I had to make those changes. That was non-negotiable for me. That was something that I had to do. It took some time.
Yeah.
It took some time, but I had to actually make that change. And when I did that, I'll look at myself, and that's where all the um I'm having a what they call them. I forgot what they call it. But I wasn't feeling very good about myself. And
Yeah.
I was at the bottom pit of a barrel. And I didn't know what to do at that time and how I was going to be able to do and try to lose weight. And so that's all I did was just laid in bed. Didn't want to get up. I'll go to
Yeah.
work, and then I'll come home, do the same exact same thing. I'll do this, recording a little bit. And that was it. That was like my whole entire day. And I'm like, okay, there's more than just doing this and just laying around in bed watching TV and all that. So I was like, okay, let's just try to keep doing something. So now I've been doing a lot more, you know, working out. I don't necessarily go to the gym, but I just do like home workouts. I have little weights here. I'll
Yeah. Good.
do, push ups, I'll sit ups, just the old traditional workouts.
Just keep
And
moving. Yeah.
yeah, and this is the best I've felt in so long because last year, 2025, I think it was in August. Uh, that's when the doctor had told and called me and said, "Hey, uh, you need to go on and continue losing weight because you are a type 2 diabetic." I'm like, damn. So here
Yeah.
we go. Let's see how the hell I'm gonna get through this. So I'm like, damn. I'm like, if it ain't one thing, it's another. So I'm like, shit. I'm like, here we go. So that's what I've been working on my diet. I've been doing a lot more, working out, hitting the irons and doing push-ups. And I still feel good. I gotta go and actually schedule a what you call it to actually do a follow-up appointment to do a follow-up. So
Yep. Yep.
yeah, and and this is the best I've felt. Even though I'm a
That's
type
good.
2 diabetic, I feel great. Sometimes you do
That's
have
good.
to you have to, you know, sleep well, get those good hours in, fix your diet. You gotta do all that in order to feel good about yourself. And that's what I've been doing. I feel great. I feel wonderful.
That that was probably the biggest game changer for me was leaving the police,
Yeah.
being on shift work.
Yes.
That just ruined my sleep. And the last 2.5 years where I've been out, where I've gone to bed at the same time, woken up the same time in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing. It is just amazing how much more energized I've felt, how much more positive I've felt, how just good I feel about myself. Like I can't underestimate how the importance of sleep can plays a major role in mental health, I reckon.
Yes. Yes. Now all that there really, it really just it really changes everything. Moods, how you're feeling in the mornings or how you're feeling overall. It changes. And it
Yeah.
sure the hell changed me. I ain't even
Yeah.
gonna sit up here and sugarcoat it. It changed me. Like hell, I still like I said, I still have my ups and downs. Oh, please believe. But when I had to know that I had to drop the weight, oh yeah, I think that was the biggest change, and that was the biggest actual change that I had to make. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't even so much of trying to help heal myself or anything like that. It was actually weight. 324? Yeah, dude.
It's a lot.
323? Yeah. That was the biggest. That was the biggest
Yeah.
in itself. So I had to, yeah, I had to put that last ice cream away and get busy.
It
And
gives
I
you
had
something
to,
to focus on too, doesn't it? And
yeah,
when you start seeing, the weight drop, it does motivate you.
yeah, I do. And it's
Mm.
continuing to motivate me. I'm just amazed on what it could do because when that happened, when I seen 323, when I seen type 2 diabetes, I'm like, okay. So I'm
Yeah.
not feeling real good about myself at this point, right? So that's why I just had to go, okay, what the fuck am I gonna do? How am I gonna do this? I'm like, I have to look through diets, I have to look through everything, like workouts. I'm like, I even put workouts off to the side. I was like, let me just see if I could just fix it. That's how lazy I was, unmotivated. Like, let me just put that off to the side and let me see if I could actually just
Yeah.
eat something or do something in portions and hopefully I'll lose some of that weight. It worked for a little while. It worked
Yeah.
for a little while, but then the cravings came back, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not easy.
this is necessarily not going to work. I might have to, add some workouts to this. So it's yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel good, man. I'm not even going to sugarcoat
Yeah.
that, man. I feel great.
Got to keep going, keep positive, keep moving, keep doing it one
You
foot
got it.
ahead in
Yes, you
front of the
got
other.
to.
And mm,
Yes, it's good. So when we talk about suicide and grief, how has loss shaped your perspective?
it it turned everything upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Everything everything I believed, I questioned. Everything that I thought that I knew, I didn't think I didn't know it anymore. Um, Relationships,
Yes.
what's happening in the world,
Mm-hmm.
religion, governments, everything. I questioned everything. Nothing was real to me anymore. Everything was make believe. Nothing made sense. I felt like I was just in another world now where I don't know how it does it to you, but it just makes you question everything and
Yes.
you start seeing holes in everything that you just never thought of before. I don't know. I'm not any trained psychologist or anything like that, but I don't know what that means and how that means. But uh, I know that it made me question everything, and I
Mm-hmm.
know that what it did was see answers that has actually helped me now,
Mm-hmm.
where I probably was naively blind to real things that were happening and the way people were treating me. Uh, I know for many years I was so afraid of losing people because I
Yeah.
didn't want to lose anyone else. I
Yeah.
became very weak and a bit of a yes man, and
Oh,
it didn't help with relationships.
yes.
Uh, Recently, I've got that masculinity back and started getting my strength back, and it's interesting that the friendships that I used to have are no longer as strong because I don't think that these people can understand that that was me before the grief and the suicide and the trauma. Uh, this what that did was just turn me into someone that was not me. And because I'm now saying no more than yes, people are not used to it. They're not used to the new old Todd,
Yeah.
and I'm loving
I agree. Because I'm gonna share something with you. That yes man stuff, that was me too. That
Yeah,
was me. Literally, like a couple of years ago. I literally was a yes man to, my old girlfriend. Like, she'll text me, wanted me to do this, ask me to do that, you know, take her kid somewhere. Now I share my 5-year-old daughter with her, and she'll ask me to, if I could do this, do that, do this, do that. And that's all I kept saying was yes. But at the same breath, all in the same time, it was like, I don't want to keep doing this shit for you every single time. Like, can you not be a little bit more responsible and just quit asking me? Especially like three of them ain't even mine. So it's like, why? Like, okay, my own, okay, maybe we're talking. Okay, maybe we're talking. But the other three, I love them dearly. Now I'll put that out there. I love them dearly, but
Yep,
shit, they ain't
not constant.
mine.
Yeah,
And it's like I was a yes man. That's all I did. I would take them to school or walk them to school. This was even before my daughter was born. Like I was doing this, and I was, I did everything for her. I put it out there,
don't
and
help, does it?
this is the shit. This is the thanks I get. You creeping on me. You cheating on me. You doing all this bullshit. And it's like, why did I waste my time on this shit? And I gotta share this 5-year-old with you too? Oh hell. Like that's where
Yeah,
I screwed up.
you
And
got to be
so
able to set boundaries and stick to them.
yes. And so that's where like I had to get my masculinity back. I had to get that back. And that's where I literally just cut that access. I said, you're done. Don't call me. Don't text me no
Well
more.
done.
Like, if you need something, hit me up on social media. You got my email. You ain't got no more access to my damn phone. Don't
Well done.
call me. I blocked her. I was done. I
Good
was
work.
done. You can't keep doing this. So that's why I had to get everything back. And
Well
what a
done.
relief. What a relief. Like I had to. Like it was hard. Like I'm coming home. I work so early in the morning. I work anywhere between 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning to like fucking 8:30, maybe 9. It just depends on the workload.
Yeah,
Like I'm doing that, and then I get to the car. I see three text messages from her. Can you take me here? Can you take me there? And I'm like, okay, we ain't doing this. I'm getting tired. So I
she
had
didn't
to
respect you.
that did not respect me, man. That right there. No respect. And it was like, okay, time for me to get this masculinity back. It's time for me to start saying no. Quit being a yes man. What's wrong with
I,
you?
I'm really seeing it now in the younger fellas, the 20s year olds, because I still coach rugby league and I still see them. You know, they're pussy whipped and they're saying yes, and it's not the answer, man. It's not the answer. It's going to end up in tears.
Dude, they think it's helping. They really
Yeah,
think that being pussy whipped like that, they really think that they are helping themselves and they're helping them.
yeah.
Like, I was the same way. I had learned no, they are just fucking using you. They're disrespecting you. They don't love you and they don't give three shits about you. Don't put yourself to this shit again. I had to talk to a coworker of mine about that a couple of weeks ago. I had to talk to him. I was like, dude, these women are up here trying to play you. Don't fall for it. Like silence is the biggest tool that you could ever insert into your soul. Like if you can't see this, then you're gonna have to learn it. Like I can sit here and warn you 50 million times. I can warn you, but if I tell you this, you're gonna have to take this seriously. But if you don't, go ahead, experience it for yourself. Go ahead and see what
Yeah.
happens. And don't say I didn't try to warn you. Like I learned the hard way. Like my
Yeah.
brother was trying to tell me, like this girl ain't no good for you, dude. Don't do it. Didn't listen. That was the biggest regret of my life. I did not listen.
Yeah.
I swear to you, I was doing so good too. I was disciplined and locked in. But then when she suckered me back in, dude, it was a wrap. My brother was like, yeah, you just fucked up, dog. You just fucked up. So enjoy this moment because you're going to pay for it. Oh, am I paying for it?
Yeah,
He
you
went
did.
line. So and that's why I'm like, okay, this is where I take responsibility for myself. I
Yeah.
hold myself accountable to higher grounds because I know that I saw the signs. I saw everything. I was thinking, hey, I could make this change. I could change her. Mm-mm. Nope. It didn't work. Like one thing I learned, you cannot change people, but you can change yourself. You can
Yeah.
change the environment around you. You can do it. And that's all it takes.
And
That's all it
one thing that I've also noticed, you know, when I went through my dramas with the girl who suicided, it
takes.
was the year 2000. There was
Yeah.
no internet, there was no Google, there was no podcasts, there was no Instagram, there was no
Yes.
TikTok, there was no Facebook.
Yes.
I was surrounded purely about, with a bunch of, 15 people. That was my world. And then I'd go to a psychologist who would tell me certain things as well. The only way that I'd find out information was to go to a library, and I never did that. So the
Right.
benefit, the benefits of what we have now for the younger generation is so good.
Yeah.
As much as social media comes up with, some negativity,
Yeah.
you can get a lot of positive things on it where even myself as an older man, I sort of go, hey, I resonate with that. It makes me feel normal because I've been feeling that for years.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
And that's
I think there's some benefits to that.
absolutely, absolutely,
Mm,
because it's like you said, like if we're using social media, if we're writing books, if we're doing it, we got to do it the right way. Like you said, it's going to be negative stuff. It's going to be negativity out there. But if we use it, we're going to use it right.
mm,
So that's why you doing your book right here. I do this podcast. Like there's other people that do little slips of surfs and stuff like that, but that's what it's all about. It's like it's all like the tools are there now. And it's like it's really up to us,
yeah,
to kind of get to the younger kids. And
yeah,
because your time, my time, we didn't have none of that. We didn't have like you said, Facebook and all this social media, YouTube. And it's like what they say about the um adulting and parenting. It's like, yeah, life didn't come with a book of instructions.
yeah.
We remember
There
that.
was no,
So it's
they had
like,
no idea what was going on.
yeah, so it's like life did not come with a book of instructions. So it's like you had to figure out everything. And when you're actually trying to figure things out, there are consequences and there's repercussions. There's negativity, there's positivity. It's everything bunched in one, but you have to learn it. You have to understand it. You have to actually, see through it. And if you don't see
Yeah,
through it, then you're gonna hit those suffrage. You're gonna hit them all. So
and that's where
good point.
back in the day, before all of this social media,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's why just things got passed down by generations because you knew nothing else.
Yeah.
At least people are getting different perspectives, they're getting different ideas and different, knowledge, which is different to what they've been brought up with.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Coping mechanisms. What are the things that helped you in your lowest moments?
Good or bad? Alcohol helped me in my lowest, which
Yeah.
is not a good way to go. Once I recognized how bad it was for me, um, what we just ran through before was my coping mechanisms was to try and talk positive, try and get good health,
Yeah.
healthy lifestyle, sleep, exercise, being around the right people.
Yeah.
They were
And
my
that's
coping
it.
mechanism. And music. I love my music.
You listening to music or do you do music?
Probably listening, yeah.
Listen, yeah, me too.
Or
I
go to
like
a go to a live band, go to a live music.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, love it. So therapeutical. Makes
Yep.
you forget about the world.
Yeah, no kidding. Because I'm the guy, I used to be full blown in the old school hip hop. I done transitioned. Yes, I done transitioned to jazz, smooth jazz, as I got older. And I have really started to enjoy smooth jazz.
Yeah, nice.
Jazz. Yes, I enjoy every minute of it. Every time I go on iHeartRadio, that's my only preset, smooth jazz. And ain't
That's
nothing
cool.
else. Like, I'll listen to, I'll go back and sometimes listen to other things, but smooth jazz is my hits. That's my therapeutic moments right there. That's my working through the grind too. So I I got to have that. If I don't have that, man, that's another world of trouble.
I still like every type of music. I go from my playlist, there'll be country music, there'll be heavy metal, there'll be punk, there'll be pop, there'll be everything.
See, and that's the thing. Like when I'm with someone and they have different music interests, oh, I'll listen to them. It'll interest me. But at the end of the day, I'm going right back to my smooth jazz. I'm going back to all of that. But I'll show if I was hanging out, I sure would listen to it. No problem at all. I'm like, oh, I can learn a little something here. But smooth
I love
jazz
it.
at the end of the day, man. At the end of the day, it's smooth jazz. And I
Even
love
your
it.
workout music is jazz?
What's that?
What about your workout music? Is that jazz?
Um, yeah,
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 cool.
it is. It is actually. And it also depends on the mood too. So it depends on what type of workouts I'm doing. But even though I'm just doing upper body right now, it's just only one set and it's just smooth jazz and that's it. But if I was doing like sit-ups or lower leg workouts and stuff like that, it had to be something else because it's not as therapeutic as when I'm doing with anything else. It's intense. So I have to change it up a little bit.
I think that's my outlet for when I have a little bit of anger in my body.
Yeah.
It work out with some heavy metal, um, you know, real rah type thing, and it makes me
Yes.
lift heavy weights, and by the end of it, it's all gone.
It's all
I
gone.
love
Yeah,
it.
you be too drained to even think about nothing else, man. And that's at the end of the
But
day, that's what you want.
and that's a way of getting that built up anger in your system too.
Yes. Yes,
Mm.
that's why I had to I did oh gosh. I had today I did like 3 workouts because I was just not necessarily angry, but I was just in those moods like
Yeah,
I
cool.
just gotta let it out. And I was on it. I was on it. Nah, man, my arms are so it's so rubber, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't think I should have did this. Oh, I be feeling it too, but I'm like, hey, I think
I
this
won't
is
kill you,
worth it.
man.
Yes, I
You'll be all
think it
right.
was worth it. So it was worth it at the end of the day. So I can't even complain.
Yeah,
I can't
good,
even
good.
complain. So, why do you think men struggle to talk about, you know, this level of pain?
I think we've been conditioned. I really
Mm-hmm.
notice. I really know my parents' age group.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle to late 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
I find them, they've really struggled to understand why I've written this book. They don't understand opening up. I know my dad and a few other people. When I said, "Oh, what do you think of the book?" And they went, "Yeah, not bad. Anything else? Not really." It's like I reckon over the generations, it's just I reckon their parents would have been even worse. Their parents obviously would have gone through the war, so they wouldn't have
Yeah.
talked about anything. Um, and I do notice now the generations are
Mm-hmm.
opening up more and more.
Yeah.
The fellas are talking a bit more, especially,
Mm-hmm.
the 50 age group are starting to open up. The
Yeah.
20s are really starting to, they're feeling a lot more comfortable and confident to
Yes.
do it.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's the culture, it's the pressure of being strong. Uh, the definition of being strong used to be keeping it in and not burdening your problems with people. I find strength now is being vulnerable and telling people what you're feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a true strength.
Straight up to a string. Yes. You talked about strong. What would be the difference between being strong and just suppressing everything?
Well, being strong is finding the right person to go and have a chat
Mm,
with and sort
yeah.
of not building up because when you keep it inside, that's when your anger builds, your irritability builds, the way you treat people is less, which is not good for society. It's not good for you. It's not a good
No.
look for you as a person, as your brand, how
Right.
people look at you. You know, a lot of people only just see the behaviors of someone and they don't see the reason behind it. They go,
Mhm.
why is that bloke so angry? What an asshole he is. They don't
Yes.
realize that that person's been keeping whatever in for ages. And it just affects your relationships. It affects not only, your partner, but your friendships or your colleagues, how you go at work. So my belief is that if you are truly strong, it means that you're regulating your emotions. And by doing that is by finding the appropriate way, the best way for you to let that all out.
Yeah.
And for each person, it's different. I don't know. There's no one size fits all. Like, people say go to therapy. That that can help some people, but other people it doesn't.
It's
But
right.
finding ways to have an outlet to me is strong, and it also then allows people around you to feel safe and feel
Mhm.
comfortable in your presence. And that's strength. Because
Sure
when you
is.
when you have that confidence, you have that presence, and people like you and are drawn to you, you know, that fills the room with love. It fills the room with strength. It fills the room with safety.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
know if you're going to go off any second. They don't know, that whole walking around on eggshells. Like when I found out, that my wife, said that she hated walking around on eggshells and people around me were the same. It devastated me. I didn't realize that. And when I found that out, I did everything I possibly could to try and stop that because I never ever thought that that's what I was doing to other people. I was totally focused on my own internal problems, is that I didn't know what it was doing to other people.
Yeah. Because I'll go like in my older jobs when I used to work in furniture stores and stuff like that, I would a lot of people would look at me as an asshole. But what most people started to understand at the end of the like literally when they started to get to know me or whatever, it's like he do these things for a reason. Like I would go and mess with people a lot and they would really think I was an asshole. But I've always tell them like, look, if I actually fuck with you, then I like you. I will mess with you. So if that makes me an asshole, know that I like and respect you. You have hit my good side.
I said that a few
So
times.
the, and that's how I usually am. And I'm like that with my current job too. That's why I just go and I just start picking on people and just, showing hostile attitudes because I like them. So I just go and just start messing with them and just give them a hard time. But hey, at the end of the day, they end up liking it because I don't mean no harm by it. I just do me. And like that's what I had to be like, okay, let me just push it back a little bit. Cause some people may not be in that mood. So I just have to
Yeah.
push it back a little bit. So,
Sometimes
you
they're
know,
going through their own struggles
yeah,
and they're so internalized and then they see that they just can't see
yeah,
the forest with the trees, they just don't know what's going on.
absolutely.
Mm,
And it just and I would think like, oh, I think I'm helping them in a way. I mean, I
mm,
be. It may be
yeah.
eternal hell for them. And I'm making
Yeah.
it worse because I like them, and I'm
Yeah.
picking on them. But it may be eternal hell. So it's like, yeah, that's why I had to. I did take it a shade back, and I'll if they start with me, then yes, I'm going full blow blast on me, and that's the end of the story. Then after that, it'll just be either fun or it'll just be more fun. That's how I end up just starting to do things now. Is just reading people that way. So yeah.
I do have a story where, I was a sergeant in a unit for 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and for, the majority of those years, I was in a reasonably good attitude and good mode, but
Mm-hmm.
there was a period of time almost near the end where my PTSD really came back and bit me on the ass, and
Yeah.
I got pulled in by the boss many times, going, man, there's lots of complaints about your attitude, Todd. What's wrong? Like, you can't be like that. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't. And like, I just got angrier and angrier. I was snapping at people. I was not fun to
Mm-hmm.
be around. Um, but no one ever sort of said, "Oh, you must be going through a hard time." It was just purely, "You're a dickhead. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
Why are you treating people like that?"
Yeah. I understand that too because most people don't look at it the way that you look at it. And
Yeah.
when you see or when you feel more angry, you get defensive. You're getting more angrier because people done reported you. They done complained about you. And all you just trying to do is be you, but you don't understand that. You're more on the angrier side. And that plays a big difference when you know the difference. So that plays a big role. I understand that.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I didn't have to go through this, but I do seem to have I now can see people that have gone through what I have.
Yeah.
I can see their change in behaviors. I can see their aggression. I can see
Yeah.
why they're angry. And, instead of looking at for what they are that day, I sort of go, hang on, something's going on internally for this fella. He doesn't usually behave like that.
Yeah.
Uh, some and like people say, oh, you know, did you learn anything out of everything that happened to you? And I sort of go, well, I wish I didn't have to go through such hardship to learn all these things, but at least I did. So
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's true. That's true. So I got this last question for you. Last question for you. What would you say to someone who feels like they're at their lowest right now?
there's not one thing you can say. Sometimes you just sit with them. You don't have to say anything. You can sit there in silence, side to side, make them feel comfortable, get them something if they need. Um, they don't have to say a word. You just have to tell them that they mean everything to you. The world wants you. The world loves you. Um, things will get better. Sometimes people don't want to hear some shit, They don't think it's going to get better. They don't think things are all that sort of happen. But um, I don't think there's a set of things that you can say to someone. But I know that a lot of wrong things that you can say to people.
Yeah.
But um, sometimes I think sitting in silence with your mate that's struggling and just being there, just being next to him or her.
That is the best answer I've heard.
Cool.
I
That's
am
awesome.
serious. That is the best answer I've heard. Like when I've asked people those type of questions, it's not generally basic, but it's different. But when you answered that, and when you just literally said there's nothing more like you could really say, just make them comfortable and just, mention, hey, little splurts of, the world loves you and stuff like that. That's the best answer I've ever heard. I ain't never
Mm.
heard that from anybody else. That is the best answer I've ever heard. The
Yeah.
best.
Wherever they're sitting, if they're sitting in the shit, I say, I'm going to sit in the shit with you.
There you go. The best answer I've ever heard. That is the best answer I've ever heard. Like and that's the thing. Like you don't realize it until you actually hear somebody say it, because I could be doing the same thing. I'll go and I'll like I could ask somebody if they're okay. And they'll say no, they're not okay. They're going through some things, or they're going through some troubles or depression or whatever. And I'm like, okay, if you're feeling that way, I'm feeling that way too. I'm feeling it with you. But
Yeah.
damn, you coming out with that answer? Yeah, that was the best. And man, that was awesome.
So what are you
That
doing
was
today,
awesome.
man? I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to sit here with you.
There you go.
Mm,
And that's it. End of
yeah.
story. And that's where their their whole world is going to feel different about just one person. If it's just one person that's saying that, credit you. If you're just saying that, that's all they're going to look at. And that's all they're going to come to is you, because you're not passing judgment. You're not, talking a lot of shit. You're not doing a lot of the things that other people would do. It's cool. Yeah. We could check in, or, we can, see if they cool, whatever. But if you're actually that answer, if you're doing that, if you're just making people comfortable, if you're just gonna sit with them, shit, I'll be like, okay, this dude cool
Yeah.
right here, man. I might have to cozy up a little bit. Like, man, he dropping some gems, man. Like, he dropping some gems. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Like that was good. I love it. I've never heard an answer like that. I might
Yeah,
have
can you
to.
imagine how many times do people say, let me know if I can do anything for you? Like, who who has ever actually responded and said, yes, I need you to do this for me?
Yes, yes, yeah, man. Like that was cool. That explains everything, really, though. At the same time, that just explains, you know, a whole situation within one person without even them saying anything.
Mm.
So that was good. I like that. That was a good answer. But I appreciate you, man. I really appreciate you coming on and taking this time to talk with me, man.
It's a
It
good
was it
chat.
was very wonderful. It was
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
These are the things that I need, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I love talking about this sort of stuff now.
Yeah, I love it too. That's why, like, when I do this, like, I tell people, like, look, flood my damn emails. I don't give a shit. Give me the good overwhelming thoughts of 82 email messages. Give me that shit. I want it. Like, I want to hear some shit. I want to hear it. Like, I love talking about it, man, because it needs to be heard. It needs to be
Yeah.
awareness. And I enjoy it just as much as you do. Like,
Yeah. The stigma of being strong and silent
yeah,
is
yeah,
not
it's
right.
the best. Yeah,
We need to change it.
yeah, and we have to, and especially within the younger generations now, and they're feeling it probably way worse than what we've have dealt with, and we got at least the tools and the wisdom to understand it and pass it along. But I love talking about it. I love it.
Mm.
It's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Best thing ever. But thank you,
Beautiful.
man. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Thank you. It
I
was a good chat.
appreciate you. Yeah.